Thokozani bakwantu, thokozani emakhosini asemanzini, emakhosini asemkhathini, emakhosini asentabeni, ninjani. So it would seem Uma has lots of messages for the Divine Feminine, because I'm here with another one. And she says it seems that Indlovukazi, women don't fully understand what happens during sex. Right? When you have sex with someone, as a woman, remember that you are a receiver, right? Your womb receives. Remember also that your womb is very much connected to your heart. And so when you have sex with someone, you're opening up your womb to that person as a receiver. The man is a giver, right? We always talk about how a man gives you seed, and whatever seed he gives you is what you then give back to the world. On a more chromosomal or biological level, what does that mean? As a woman, you have two X chromosomes, XX. You contribute one of your X chromosomes to your child. The male is XY. And depending what he gives you, which is either an X from his XY or the Y from his XY, you have either a male XY or a female XX. We remain constant as XX. Does that make sense? Now, here's something that is very important. As a receiver, when you open up your womb, you're opening up your heart as well. The womb and the heart are connected. So, not only are you receiving seed, but you're also receiving any and everything else that this man carries. If he has anger, you're receiving it. If he has emotional issues such as detachment, such as abusive, you are receiving it. If his diet is such that it is making his body sick, you are receiving it. If it is that he has some bad habits, be it smoking, whatever, you are receiving anything that is in him that is making him sick. Now here's where the kicker is. Usually when two people meet, they meet because they are vibrating at the same frequency. So if you have your own issues, your own baggage, you're already sad, you have lack issues, you're worried about money, you're full of fear, you're angry, you're resentful, you have hurt from past relationships. When this man comes and gives and you receive all of that. And then in you, it is amplified and you get sick. Guess what happens to him? He feels better. If he was smart enough and he knew this alchemy, he could deposit or give you all this stuff. You receive it. And then he would go about and change his ways. He would be healed. In other words, women are inherently healers. But the problem is we need to be taking care of ourselves. That is why it is so important for Indlovukazi to heal. Two things happen to you when you heal. Number one, you raise your vibrational frequency so that you're no longer attracting these sick people who come and deposit into you and make you even more sick. That's number one. Number two, you raise your vibrational frequency and you're healthy so that you meet somebody at your frequency. And then you create a healthy union where there's no one who is making the other sick. It is not a parasitic relationship. What do I mean? By parasitic, a spiritually parasitic relationship is one where there's so much imbalance. You're constantly absorbing illness because you're a natural born healer. You're receiving all this sickness, but your partner is getting better. The same principle that applies to how it is that men benefit in terms of wealth from a woman's own wealth through sex is the same principle that applies with sickness. A lot of women with fibroids, heavy periods, endometriosis, tumors and cancers, cysts, they are experiencing these things because their womb is opening up to men who are sick, and they are taking and absorbing all this. If his diet is bad and he is sick because of his diet, you're taking that sickness in and he gets better. I've seen a lot of videos where men are posting about how, oh yeah, men don't benefit anything from relationships, women do. You know, we are so shallow and so mediocre because all you're looking at is perhaps material benefit. The fact that you give a woman a certain amount of money does not mean in any way she's benefiting. You are giving her money, but she's paying a very heavy price because she's absorbing your illness. You can't put a dollar value on health. So can we stop it with the nonsense, and can we start to deepen our understanding of relationships from a spiritual perspective? So now if you're a woman and now you've got this sickness from this person, your next lover comes along, you haven't cleansed, you haven't healed yourself, and he hasn't cleansed or healed himself, you're taking that in too. Is it any wonder that the divine feminine are so sick? For those who are ancestrally gifted, you really have no excuse for such reckless behavior. And fortunately for some of you, your ancestors will cut that nonsense very quickly because they don't like filth. They don't like the fact that you're going around sleeping with all these people and taking in illness. This could be. So I thought I'd pass this message on. Take it or leave it. If it doesn't apply, keep it moving. But if it applies, sit down. Sit down. Be still. And look at your behaviors and look at yourself. Look at the kind of men you are attracting. There's some women, and it's interesting because I've had several cases which baffled me initially until this explanation came through, where you find that she's actually in a marriage, but very sick. Fibroids, high blood pressure. And some of these things, I didn't pick up that the man was cheating in any way. But she would say to me, every time I have sex with my husband, I get sick physically. I itch, nasty discharge, I throw up. She says, I almost have pregnancy-like symptoms to the point where she no longer wanted him to even touch her. It didn't come through that he was cheating. It didn't come through that there was ischito of any sort or kind. But what did come through is that she was ancestrally gifted and that they did not want him because he had a lot of issues, and not just issues by himself, but a lot of lineage issues, a lot of generational issues. And they did not want their child with him because they did not want their bloodline that she carries mixing with his bloodline. Because once that's done, that's a contractual thing. A child is produced from both bloodlines. They did not want that. So they made her sick. Sure. So I hope this helps someone. But ancestrally gifted kids, umjolo usazonyisa because abayifuni into engcolile abantu abadala. Masithokozeni. Oy, oof.